Well, I think these are the myriads of questions we should constantly ask. But when we ask the question now, some people will say, "Oh, we don't wish them well." There are people still living in penury and poverty largely. Okay, take for instance, about 1.9, close to 2 trillion has been shared by FARC. VAT has increased, over 300 something billion in VAT. All of these monies that are being received by the governors, what are they doing with it? If you check most of their budgets, like a state like Lagos, but we saw in Lagos state budget that what they are thinking of doing is to buy houses for lawmakers, local lawmakers in Lagos and in Abuja. At first, for the fact that you serve your state and getting the salary, why must they buy houses for you in the first place? I remember how we complained bitterly about how even past governors were having a pension scheme and they were buying houses, and so past governors didn't collect those schemes. I think so. Like Peter Obi has constantly said, he didn't collect those schemes. So we complained bitterly about that. But now it's not even governors they want to buy house for. Now it's lawmakers. So lawmakers are representing every constituency with the taxpayers' money. That's what they want to do, how to buy houses for them. You see, Nigeria, we keep saying these things. We keep saying it in their ears until we hear it. We're not going to go really saying all of these things. Please, go and meet your governors. Ask them, what are they doing with the fact they've received? There are a couple of stories still making the round. So there's a story making the round as regards legal luminary from the father was saying that at the Makoko protest that some of the things used, the tear gas used, were already expired and corrupted tear gas, that it's a sad one, and he wants them to be able to look at it and investigate. And still as regards the Malami case, there's also a story making the rounds as regards the Malami case. Malami did claim that over 958 million naira was given to him as gifts by his friends, that he earned over 300 million from salaries, extra codes and the likes, and a couple of 10 billion turnover, and these are the things at which he's defending. I mean, the part that interests me is, what did he do to be able to earn that amount as gifts from his friends, over 900 million? He also said he made over 500 million from his book that he wrote at the book launch and all of that. I mean, so one will ask, what's really going on?
Thank you very much, Rufai Oseni, for your thoughts this morning. It's still the front page review on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Nyamgul Agaji, and I'm being joined by my guest this morning here in the house, Prince Chiraka. Prince Chiraka, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, how are you today?
I'm fine.
You saw the rains?
Yes, I did. Serious one. But I kind of loved it that it came overnight. Yeah, I loved it. Okay, so just trying to ask you how market, because
which was the market? Onitsha
market. Because Soludo said that it must be opened, and we saw people at the market yesterday.
Well, if I think the fear of the people, if he can take care of the fear of the people open their markets, and the fear of the people has been insecurity. So if he's going to deploy security men, it's for me. I ask questions and I say, look, if you bring security men to protect the traders who are inside their shops, how about those who are coming to buy? Will you have policemen on the street to protect them? And that can only be solved by taking care of the insecurity.
Yeah, we've been told that there's heightened security measures put in place for that. So let's hope that it covers that, and let's hope that it lasts. But like I was saying, it's a case of between the devil and the deep blue sea.
You choose which one you want.
Yeah. So because if Soludo doesn't do what he's doing, or he didn't do what he's doing, it's like giving the power to non-state actors who seem to be dictating the tune.
No. You see, the governors, the entire governors in the Southeast, all of them have to be blamed. Because when this whole thing started, if they had come together as a unit and said, no, we'll combine our forces, it would have been a different story. But a lot of them also played to the gallery, because at the end of the day, These are people, most of these boys are same people they use for their political gains. We can't do that. That's why I keep asking, why is it that in each state, once it's time for election, the unknown government disappears? And only the surface after the elections. So they are culpable. The governors, the leaders in the Southeast are all culpable because they all went quiet. Everybody went mute.
Talking about unknown gunmen and boys and all that and their responsibility, I'm wondering how come Gentle the Yahoo who is not Jesus, just resurrected. because we were made to understand have been killed and all that. Suddenly he's making videos.
Well, for me, I think that the military owes the Nigerian people explanation, and the press release or the press conference organized by the ministry for me was a charade. It shouldn't have been. If you're telling us, it's AI and all of that, show us evidence. I mean, I'm happy that the Minister of Defense has come out to say, that looks like Brigadier General Oba is still alive. That because they have not seen his corpse. So if he's giving us that kind of assurance, so why are they not coming out to show us whether the corpse of Gentle Yahoo, or whether he's in detention or whatever? They should show us evidence so that it will assuage the minds of the people in the Southeast, considering the fact that that name is a terror name. So coming to tell us that it is AI generated is not an answer to the bigger question.
But our security personnel, not just security, anything government now is synonymous with lies.
Deception. Propaganda.
We heard about the coup. Rufai was just talking about the coup. The coup that they said no coup at all. It was examination. It was this. It was that. Now they have accepted the fact that it was coup. There was a kidnapping somewhere, sometime, and they said nothing like that happened. So they keep lying, and it seems as if it has become normal. And I don't know how that is affecting us.
It is affecting us because it's deepening the trust deficit between the people and the government. So if the government says one thing, people will look at it and say, no, I'm not going to take that risk. On my behalf, I won't take that risk. It's unfortunate that we're now running a country where deception and lies and propaganda has become the order of the day. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because the Nigerian people have voluntarily, in quotes, given their sovereignty to these so-called leaders. And the least they can expect from these leaders is be sincere and truthful to us. Tell us what the problem is. Tell us your shortcomings. Tell us directly your progress. Then we'll know. It helps the Nigerian people to form an informed decision. But when you lie, and at the end of the day are caught up with your lies, it becomes difficult for the people to trust you, no matter what you do or say.
Okay, let's go back to the Southeast that we're talking about. The governors failed to take up the responsibility, the governors at that time at least. But we heard of the rise of Abuja. We heard of the rise of Eastern Security Network. Where did this generate?
You know that Abuja is supposed to have been formed by the government. And the problem
like
was...
the Amotekun of the East.
But the problem was that the people now started saying that the Abuja have turned into a killer squad. ESN is something formed by IPOP and Simon Ekpa, who is now in prison in Finland. But the original plan, or what the people were told, was that ESN was going to protect the people and protect the forest. But it turned out that between Abuja and ESN, we didn't know who was killing people and who was kidnapping people anymore. And then the Southeast governors were not united in that Abuja issue. They were not. And it's a problem in the Southeast. This problem of lack of unity of purpose by the governors, by the leaders. It's a very big problem. It's a shame. Because a lot of, if you observe, let me just digress a bit. Today we hear that there's a new history book for junior secondary school. Most tribes were mentioned. There was history written on them, but there was no history written on the Igbo people. Is that not a shame? And you have governors in the southeast, and everybody's keeping quiet. It's like gradually the Igbos have been erased from the history of Nigeria. And we're keeping quiet. And this is what we talk about marginalization. So the marginalization is becoming too obvious. So it's this kind of things. Like I keep saying, this is why you have people agitating for Biafra. And like I said, Biafra is an ideology. It depends on who is carrying it out. You may have a cool-headed person who believes in the rule of law to follow step by step. But you may also have a crazy person like an Adolf Hitler who would say, no, it will be total war. And I think that, the federal government needs to address the cries of the Southeast. We're talking about 60 to 70 million people, and you just want to obliterate them from the history of the country they belong to, and you believe that you can curb insecurity in that region. You can't, because there will be too much agitation going on, and people are beginning to ask questions. If we have a national history book without the Igbo in it, where do you leave the Igbos? And why are the governors in the Southeast not talking? Why are the elders in the Southeast not talking? Why are they so mute? Why are they so quiet?
Is this history book being used in schools right now?
Yes, it's being used in schools.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's
So
really unfortunate.
the problem in the South is in one hand it is fueled by the wicked rulers they have in the Southeast. In one hand, on the other hand, it's being compounded by the federal government. And I keep asking, Tuesdays to Sundays, you have military checkpoints, you have police checkpoints, all of them are working. On Mondays, banks don't open, checkpoints don't open, schools don't open, markets don't open. So what is going on?
Someone called and said that he traveled to the east at one point and said, okay, whatever has to happen, let it happen. And he moved around on Mondays and went to like 3 locations and all that, and he saw all the checkpoints that you're talking about.
Were they mounted?
So he said.
No, then he hasn't been traveling, because I have a lot of people who travel. I have people who travel to business.
Okay, so let's leave the southeastern and go to every other state. Big money, small impact. Governors face fire over 9 trillion naira FAC windfall. 2025, they had a windfall that amounted to 9 trillion naira, but it doesn't seem as if in all the states we saw reasonable impact.
Why would you say impact? They see the money as free lunch. That's what the governors do.
Is there no mechanism by the federal government to check the states that they are giving this money?
The federal government is part of it too. If you checkmate the federal government, who checkmates the federal government? If you checkmate the states using the instrumentality of the federal government, who checkmates the federal government? Your National Assembly, they're supposed to have an oversight function. How are they functioning? How are they functioning? So the problem is such that, this administration has created more money for the governors to play with, to eat, to dine with, to go. That's why you see some governors going out of Nigeria to celebrate their birthdays. It is because there's a windfall. And we have a country where nobody will ask the people, what do you need? Do you need hospitals? Why are the hospitals, why are the primary health centers not functioning? If you go to Root or Lasut and you have a patient there, you, the caregiver, will fall sick. Because if they need a syringe, you have to go and buy. You queue up, You make payment, you go back to where you made the payment.
I can relate.
Yes.
I can relate.
You know, so you find yourself, you know, ordinary syringe, even gloves, you have to buy. So how come our primary health centers are not functioning?
No anti-snake venom.
No. Let's not talk about that.
No anti-snake venom.
I keep telling people, don't pray every day. You don't pray for riches. Just pray that Nigeria never happens to you. It's gotten to that point. Honestly speaking, it's gotten to that point. Because for you, even when you have your money now, the health system cannot. You can't even afford it. When you can afford it, it's not available. And when it's available, you don't get the service you want. The good doctors, the well-trained doctors are leaving the country in droves. Just like every other sector. And then government will tell you every 2 days, oh, Mr. President has to travel to go and invite investors. Inviting investors when your local ones you have are running away. When those who will provide direction for the investors are running away. The government is not thinking out of the box. That's just the problem.
You sure about that?
No, I'm sure they're not thinking out of the box. If they're thinking out of the box, they should go back. I keep saying it. I keep saying it. Go back and ask questions. You had the late Lateef Chakonde of Lagos. You had the late Dr. Simon Bakwe of Imo. You had several of them at that era. Go and find out how they governed their states.
But why I'm asking you the question is that I feel they know what should be done. They just refuse to do it because they don't care. So
They're not thinking out. If they're thinking out of the box, they know they will do it. They will do it. When you know something and you refuse to do it, it means you're not thinking out of the box.
Well, they're training their children to become the same people they are.
Well,
so that we set the fathers.
What they don't realize is, see, these ones you are not training will tomorrow hunt after those you have trained. There was a video that has been trending. They said a member of the house from Zamfara State went to his constituency and he was beating blue-black.
And I wonder, maybe this windfall that is happening is the reason, even though they have come to say it's not true, is the reason Lagos State might even think about building houses for their lawmakers in Abuja and all that.
Wait. No, don't even go there. Is it not shameful? Is it not shameful? A country where you have millions of ordinary Nigerians that cannot afford accommodation. And you are trying to buy houses for those who have embezzled government funds, for those who have enriched themselves with public funds, and you want to buy houses for them. Civil servants queue up every day. Some die on the queue for pension, and we're not looking into that.
I mean, if you must build a house, why not build in that person's village? You're going to Abuja to build. So if you must be crazy enough to build a house for someone, build in the
why should they even build the house in the first place?
If you must build in the village.
No, don't be saying if you must. Why must they build it? Let us stop helping government or helping those in power, to have this entitlement mentality. They're employed, they're paid salary, they're paid their allowances. They're expected to use these things to better themselves. So why must they take again from the purse to build houses for them? Are they not ashamed?
In Abuja. Okay.
But I hear they've denied it.
They have. Yes. They have. But subheads have names that you may never recognize. So
you can hide them under different subheads. And
anyway, Electoral Act. Senate resumes debate today after backlash. This is February, the third day of February. This is like exactly 1 year or something to the next election. So they're dragging their feet about the electoral.
Honestly speaking, I'll say this with all sense of responsibility. I don't think the Senate wants to pass that bill. And even if they're going to pass that bill, they're going to doctor it in such a way that it becomes useless. A lot of things that people are demanding to be in, they don't want to be transparent. They don't want accountability in terms of electioneering.
It's terrible.
Have you ever seen anybody who supports a law that will get him arrested? No, maybe I'm
Yeah, but
maybe I'm not.
that's the truth. The scary part is that all of them want to stay there permanently, which means there is no way it will ever be passed in such a way that people will rejoice.
Because
So what do we do?
that's what I'm saying, that the whole idea is hold the people down. Because I've never seen anybody who wakes up from sleep and you know that you are a thief and you've been stealing, and they're not telling you to sign a law that will arrest anybody that does the same thing you've been doing. You will not sign that law because it's going to come after you. So I just believe that the Senate is trying to play, smart one, drag their feet, committee that, committee this, committee that. At the end of the day, they just hurriedly give you something like they did in 1999 when they gave you the obnoxious 1999 decree constitution.
Okay, so let's go to this one that is a bit funny. Nigerian government is proposing, according to one of the stories we saw a few days ago, is proposing supplying electricity to some more countries when we don't have. And then down in South Africa, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not that, let me not go from that point. The utility bill in the foreign mission there, the embassy there, has not been paid. They are owing, so they cut the light from them. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is blaming the budget for the budget delay as the reason for that, because they didn't pass the 2026 budget. That's why they didn't have money to pay, even though now we've seen another report which is saying that it has been paid. But this is what we went through.
Let me start from saying that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there are some press release you give, or the embassy, there are some government officials, there are some press release you release that make you look stupid. If they say it's because of the budget, are they not aware that we have about 3 or 4 budgets running concurrently? 2023 budget is running, 2024 budget is running, 2025 budget is running. So what are they talking about? As far as we know, the government has not brought a closure to these 3 budgets. 2, we know that government don't like paying bills. They just like the people to pay bills. It's not because of paying of bills that the presidency opted out of the national grid
to buy solar for our solar. And
so government don't like to pay bills. So it's not new. It's not But by the time you carry out an investigation, that money has been appropriated, and somebody probably has kept it aside somewhere. But it's a shameful thing that our embassy can have their lights cut off. Then talking about providing electricity for other countries, Nigeria is just a big fool. We're the proverbial, saying you don't want to remove the splinter in your eyes, but you're removing the log in another person's eyes. Don't they hear when Donald Trump says American first? Why are we not saying Nigeria first? Why are our leaders not thinking in terms of, forget this whole thing you want to show that you're the big brother of Africa? You are nothing. Because even the people you think you want them to call you big brother, they don't have value for you. They don't recognize you anymore. They know that Nigeria is a cesspit of bad governance. They know that Nigeria is a country where corruption reigns supreme. They know that Nigeria is a country where those in power are not accountable. So we need to stop this whole thing trying to show we're the giant of Africa when we have turned to become the ant of Africa. Let us face our own internal issues. Let us resolve them. If every nook and cranny of Nigeria has electricity and is affordable, and your national grid is not collapsing every now and then you can begin to think of giving to other people. When you have a situation where you're living in penury, you're living in hunger, you are ravaged by poverty, yet the small money you have, you want to give to somebody else. Is that not stupidity?
Okay, I saw a banter on social media the other day. Someone was trying to say a small country in the southern part of Africa. How did there was a social media person that came to Nigeria and toured Africa, and she was like airport, and the person said, "Oh, you're from Nigeria. I know you wouldn't understand. All you know is bad governance." And the person tried to talk further, and he said, "Well, I still say you will not understand, because our economy in my country does not fall, neither does our president." That was a very terrible one. Yet they have been telling us that we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't even talk about the fact that our president is infirm. Our president tripped and fell because even in Turkey they did not see it as a big deal and all that. That's what they keep telling us and keep doing to us.
It's like trying to market a bad product. You do everything humanly possible to market it. There is nothing wrong with Mr. President slipping and falling. He's human. Let us start with that. But you see, why people get so upset is the fact that we tried everything that happens in Nigeria, especially with governance, we try to hide it. You saw how many times Biden fell. And when it got to a point, Biden said, "No, I can't continue." That's integrity. African leaders, do they have it? Do they even know when to call it quits?
They have integrity. They have integrity. Once upon a time, Zimbabwean dollar used to be nothing. Now it is bigger than Nigeria.
You're talking of dollar. How about
Zimbabwean dollar?
How about SEFA?
That you could use like how many million to buy just bread?
It shows you.
Oh dear.
It shows you the level at which corruption and bad governance has held Nigeria down.
Anyway, in Insecurity, ECOWAS leaders resolved to tackle terrorism, strengthen regional cooperation. I think they have set aside their differences now.
I don't believe in ECOWAS, because ECOWAS has not been sincere to itself. You can't have leaders who have administered their countries, who have driven their people into poverty amongst you, and you don't see the need to criticize them. You don't see the need to tell them, stop. And you tell me that that body is a body that anybody should be associated with? No.
But should they have the power to meddle into the affairs of any country?
They should be able to talk to themselves. It starts from there. ECOWAS should be able to look at elections organized in other African countries that are rigged, flawed, and say, this election is flawed. I mean, even if they don't have control over those countries, but let it be that ECOWAS is speaking the truth to power, irrespective of which president. But they're not doing that.
Wike can't fix his PDP convention for March.
Is that PDP? There's no PDP now. Let us be honest with ourselves. You just have PDP on paper, but in real terms, there is no PDP.
We had a court pronouncement that gave a particular faction the authenticity that they needed.
Then
was that also on paper?
We have another court that stopped their cancelled their convention. In all of this, the judiciary
abracadabra.
Good, and the judiciary is the one doing the abracadabra. And that is why people are saying that, how do you intend to win a case against the Wike when the FCT chief judge gathered his men and went to pay a courtesy visit and were asking for land? How do you want to win? So when they tell you go to court, they know what they mean. They know what they're saying. Go to court. You you know how disdainful and disgraceful that video that has been trending is? A body that should be independent now crawling to another body and begging for land. How did we get this low in Nigeria?
Okay, so state governors now to share payment of electricity subsidy. That's according to the federal government. In fact, they said the state government and the councils will share the subsidy now.
Are they what are they subsidizing? I don't know if they are subsidizing. Band A is still paying. If you want to buy token, 10,000 naira will give you 44.4 units. So where is the subsidy? Who are they subsidizing for?
Maybe it would have been more than that.
Is it those that they've refused to give meter to, and they're giving them estimated bills? Like you said, government of abracadabra.
Okay, well, planned protest, court stops NLC, TUC, others. We've seen also that in FCTA, the leaders of NLC have reached an agreement with Nyesom Wike over what is going on now. So
agreement is an agreement, but the problem is not whether there's an agreement, is the implementation of the agreement. Honestly speaking, I see no reason why a Wike in FCT should hold people, should hold the workers. And like I keep saying, as at 30th of March 2025, the FCT was removed from the TSA by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I remember what he said. He said, look, we don't want you to say we're the ones stopping you from carrying out your developmental projects. We don't want you to be the one we don't want to be held responsible for administration and smooth running of the FCT. What is that? What does that mean? Pay your salaries on time. Pay benefits to the people on time. You can't tell me you're building bridges and building roads, and those who are carrying out the work are going hungry. So at the end of the day, when you finish building these bridges and the roads, who will use them? Ghost? So whatever it is, the FCT minister needs to sit down and face the FCT. He needs to let go of Rivers State. So long as he keeps having one leg in Rivers, one leg in FCT, things will keep going bad. And it is that destruction that is affecting, everything that's happening in the FCT. Okay. If in the FCT we saw an accident where everything was, left unattended to, the same FCT, snake bite, the same FCT, one chance, and where is the man who controls the FCT? It's not just about calling press conference every month or every 3 weeks and telling us stories.
Okay, so let's take this quickly now. 140 million Nigerians to be plunged into poverty.
They're already into poverty. I don't know who gave you that. Please don't be reading as such things. Nigerians already, they are deep inside poverty. Maybe another set.
I was asking the same question. Are they going to be plunged into poverty, or they're always
maybe poverty? Another set of,
or another stage of poverty.
Yeah. Multidimensional poverty. Because already there are more people in that category than we're talking about.
Okay, let's just pay some bills and then come back. Okay, let's see. Can we quickly just take this? Banks withholding tax on interest sparks outrage. Presidency experts react as Nigerian banks with 10% withholding tax.
What do you want me to say? Well, you see, the federal government has created a situation where anybody can wake up and do what they want to do. so long as the government collects revenue. They don't care how it is implemented. Okay. But I keep telling Nigerian banks, if they're not careful, people will go back to the old days.
Kolo and daily contribution. Okay. Let's pay some bills and then open our lines for more discussions.
The Lord's Chosen Charismatic Revival Movement invites you to a great annual crusade titled From Sorrow to Joy. Date Saturday 7th and Sunday 8th February 2026. Venue The Lord's Chosen Charismatic Revival Movement along Oshodi Apapa Expressway by Jesha Bus Stop, Amuodofi, Lagos, Nigeria. Time 8 a.m. daily. Ministry live. The Anointed Servant of God, Pastor Lazarus Walker. Come with your friends and family. From sorrow to joy. Your time is now. Come and be blessed. Jesus is Lord.
Let's try to make it as snappy as possible. We're still going to have Gada Chichomzi talk to us on Gada this morning for 5 minutes. So let's just try to do what we can before that time comes. Let's open our lines now for you to call in.
This is Voice of the...
Okay.
But wait a minute. When it's time to speak your mind.
Okay, now the numbers are 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 903 903, or 0803 6929 933, 08036929933. For WhatsApp is 08171756338, 08171756338. Call us now. Let's hear what you have to say. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my brother. Good morning. My name is Innocent. I'm coming from Amuja, the first state.
Go on.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. I said now, when we are talking about Nigeria, people think that is a joking matter. You can look at what is happening now. Everything is silent now because it's like Atiku is not happy for what is happening in the ADC as I'm seeing it now. And now he's not happy. Obi is not parading himself as maybe he wants to be ADC flag bearer of 2027. And he's not doing what he's supposed to do as I'm seeing it. In Nigeria politics, maybe if it is outside politics, he's doing very well. But in Nigeria politics with this, I don't think that they will go anywhere. Because everything is down in ADC now. And if Obi is going to contest and he's like to do maybe somehow looking at what they call it, Kwankwaso, as I'm seeing it today on my own mind, I know Kwankwaso have been bought by APC. There is just trying to make a joke out with Peter Obi because somebody does not like you 3 years ago. How manage is now loving you? Want to be advised. Somebody who say he cannot be advised. Now you want to be advised, and Peter Obi is not seeing it because he have been blind with he want to be president. So what we are trying to advise him, if you want APC to win, better you go and be the flag bearer of the ADC. But if you want Nigeria to come out in this quagmire, better you look at Atiku, let them discuss how they are going to work together and get it done. And what I advise I will give Atiku, if Obi is not listening to you because he is following the followers, public does not decide for people. The public does not decide. It's one or two people will decide how they are going to run their business. So I will advise Atiku, if Obi is not listening, please Atiku, we have a deal with Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Maybe after him you go. Leave Obi and the Nigerians, let them go and sort themselves out. Let's see how you work 2027. Because if you are telling somebody who doesn't want to listen, what can you do? They are going to be allow you to do whatever you feel you want to do. And Kwankwaso will deceive you. At last, Kwankwaso will jump out from that window. They are telling that he's not going to be his vice. Because Obi, as I'm seeing it, I don't know, but Obi is not going to, he's not planning very well to get everything. Because nothing is happening in ADC. ADC is almost down. Since Atiku is silent. Thank you.
Thank you.
May God bless you. Yeah, let me just quickly, I think a lot of people don't understand politics. In politics, there is no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. What you have is permanent interest. Before now, everybody was saying, oh, P2B is too quiet. P2B is not playing the politics. He's not embracing everybody. Now, P2B is embracing everybody. Same people are complaining. It's funny. I think that, for me, I believe that if we really need to have a change, I've always said it and I keep saying it, an Atiku should be a kingmaker and not seeking to make himself the king. So people need to understand that politics, there is no permanent friend. After all, to our first caller, Is it not your president that has forgiven Reno Mokri after all Reno did to him? So we're not learning. We're not understanding how politics works.
But did this sound like an advice to Obi, or a covert way of?
It's a covert way of telling of promoting what he wants to promote.
So, well, okay, callers, we're still here. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I want to say something as regards to. Hello?
Go on, we can hear you.
Hello?
Okay, if you can't hear us, please call back. We could hear you, but you couldn't hear us. It's unfortunate. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Yambo.
Put up your...
My name is Robert.
Okay.
I can't hear you, but I believe you are hearing me.
Good.
It's Kilaka. Morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm saddened. Very saddened. Very sad that these our House of Assembly members are running Nigeria as if they are running their personal business. The 2003, the last election, 2013, we know how the glitches and whatever caused some problem in this country through that electoral act. I was expecting that as soon as they come on board, they will sit down and discuss about how the next election will be run, free and fair without any problem. They have been sitting there how many years now? Getting to 3 years, these people. It is now when we are at the eve of the election, that is when we didn't fit to say they want to amend the electoral act. Now let me ask Brisilaka, look at this, our president now. He had the ambition to come back again. He promised him how many million votes in Edo State? How is he going to get those votes? Okay, if I thought this national assembly members association will debate this thing through their committee, sit that committee, do you think this president will sign that electoral act to power? I don't think so. Because if he sign it, how will Okpebolo get the million of votes he promised? How will he get it? When we need the APC for running away with it, hijacking and the rest. It's like the people are just running this country as if Nigeria is a joke honestly. And this is how we go to continue over again. Thank you. God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, young girl.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Good morning.
Go on.
This one I want to report now is out of what is said. Last year, 4th of February, and tomorrow will be 4th of February, making a year. President trying the increment of pensioners. Then on me, we thought that something would be given to people suffering. Pensioners are some 17,000 something under this heart condition, under this squeeze condition, Nigerians are. As we speak today, we stated it in May, thinking that we will have it this layer or whatever. Nothing was here. They stated it in June to July, July to August, August to today we have not seen our common pension, peanut money.
What ministry were you working, sir?
I don't want to tell you that ministry. I don't want to tell you that ministry. I'm not happy. Over the news of Nigeria, they have split us. 70-something years of mine now. Do you know that there was a time they want to go make it? They were begging that they should not do this, they should not do it. People of 80-something, 70-something years in Nigeria. We talked about the people, they want to buy a house for legislators and co. What is the problem? What is the problem? Giving us the peanut money. You cannot buy Panadol
cannot buy anything. This country is a funny country to be candid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I only asked about the ministry because sometimes they claim in some ministries they have settled everything. So I needed to just know that. That's why I asked. But it's unfortunate. Pensioners are suffering and they will still have to come for verification, physical verification and all that.
See, that's why I said that those who run this country, I don't know where they come from. They're supposed to be part of us. They're supposed to be Nigerians, but unfortunately we do not know where they come from. The people are secondary. They don't even consider the people as humans anymore.
It's unfortunate. Let me take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello, Yango.
I can hear you.
Good morning. Good morning, Priscilla.
Good morning.
I don't know, I can't hear you, but I think you can hear me. So what I want to say is that, please, this issue of Obi and Atiku. Atiku is somebody like Darlington said it yesterday. He's an impatient man. He keep moving from one a party to another, and when he moves is when there is always a election or primary or whatever. I remember that time he left PDP. Before you know, he joined APC. He said, let's use broom and sweep. I was seeing him. Before you know it, now he ran back again to PDP. Okay, now PDP got was, and it was because of you and Wike. You people should zone this thing. Wike say no, because Wike the other said let's zone to southeast. Wike say no, and that was why there was issue. They have to open up. At the end of the day, because of Atiku, issue came up. Okay, you ran away from the now you're in ADC. Just because P2B had joined ADC now, and probably he's seen the footstep that it's like the majority want to back him up to get the ticket. Now he's romancing other parties. Let him see. That is not the way to do things. He's not getting younger. To me, if they do the primary, if he wins, Obi should support him fully. But if he loses, he should support Obi. You have already been a vice president. What is your problem? What of those who have not even attempted like Obi had that have not even gone for senator? And you want to kill yourself? Even if he goes to the mass with Tinubu in 2031, his age is far above that people might not even want to follow him at all. What are we not talking? Okay, talk about the house for the registration. In fact, that one I think it will not even happen because many people will even want to. In fact, people will stone so many of them. It will not happen. Look at that man talking about pension. Pension is even your money. I work, I'm also a civil servant. Every month before your salary come, they take your pension. For years, so when you now grow old, now somebody will not want to release your pension. Why? Is that no wickedness in the highest order? I say it, I thank God for some states. Like my mother retired as a civil servant, and she's receiving her pension 247 in Anambra, and they started it. Till today, they follow that footstep. Nobody. 25th of every month, Anambra receive their pension. But you see Fidra about treating people. So please, I want him again that Nigerians are so scared to come out. If Nigerians everybody put one mind and come out in the street and revolt, how many they won't kill? If they kill and kill, even international people will come. So they can't even come out. But just that everybody is scared. Even me, I don't want that. But leave my children for me. So that's what I want to say. But I think if God can give us the mind to revolt, everybody will not die. The one that remain, God will help us to build again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It reminds me of Fela's music.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. But the truth of the matter is that it's not that Nigerians don't want to come out. It's just the fact that Nigerians, unfortunately, have been divided along ethnic and religious lines. And that is what the politicians are taking advantage of.
Ekanka used to say, whenever the student is ready, the master will appear. So when Nigeria is ready, the courage will come. Everything will come. So, well, we are going to be joined by Miss Chichomzi in a short while. So I'd like to use this time to thank you, Prince Chilaka, for coming on the show before she joins us, because that will take us some time. It is always a very great pleasure having you on the show.
No problem.
Thank you very much.